Thank you. I rise in opposition of this budget, but not as a Republican, but as somebody that loves taxpayers. Republicans and members on this side of the aisle, we've often talked about the taxpayers, and we've been called doom grifters and carnival barkers. Doomed grifters and carnival barkers. We've long warned that the COVID money and the permanent spending that you've put in place was finally going to run out. And now we are starting to see the record spending and tax hikes that the majority party is putting into place. Billions and billions of temporary COVID money has been spent. And then after you spent the COVID money, you then borrowed from the federal government and celebrated that you paid it back. Then after that, inflation exploded, consumer prices went through the roof, and you gave yourselves an 18% pay raise. Then as we move along, this is a very welcoming and accepting place if you're an illegal immigrant, because you'll provide the best health care in the entire state to an illegal immigrant. And we've long argued on our side of the aisle that these Cadillac-level services should not be given to migrants and illegal immigrants. You could have balanced the budget in 5 minutes had you have just reduced that funding. Instead, you've blamed Republicans in the state of Texas for the reason for this problem, but then you've spent tens of millions of dollars in this budget for welcoming centers. And J.B. Pritzker is making good on his campaign promise of making this the most welcoming state for illegal immigrants in the nation. And then we started having conversations about revenues, and the $1 billion in proposed tax hikes started to circulate. The Democrat majority wasted no time for the political theater, and the governor sent out memos asking for about $800 million in agency budget cuts. Now, this is my 7th year in the General Assembly, and I can tell you that is laughable for anybody that has been here 1 hour. There was never an attempt to really cut anything. It was only to justify the reckless spending. So what do doom grifters look like? What are we talking about when we ask the majority party to start being more fiscally responsible? Rich states, poor states has the bond rating as junk. The Democrat majority celebrates when you go from junk to junk. Income inequality, dead last, NerdWallet. That's right, black and brown people, they are treated the worst in the country for income inequality. Economic outlook, rich state, poor states, ranked 48th and near the bottom of the barrel on corporate tax rates and the overall tax burden. So then we could talk about the out-migration and the numbers that the Democrat Party continues to contest. 33,000 people last year moved out of the state of Illinois, and 10 consecutive years of population loss, ranking us 48th in the nation, just behind New York and California. What is the Democrat response to this? You are all professional census deniers. You deny the federal government's own census numbers and say we are not losing population. The irony is just overwhelming there. The numbers don't lie, and this is, again, thousands and thousands of pages of Republicans saying, "I told you so." We are loaded here with job creators on our side of the aisle, job producers, and private sector experience. The Democrat Party today has been hijacked by activists and community organizers, which we told you would happen when you aggressively gerrymandered the map. And there's even members right now on your side of the aisle that would agree with that. The taxpayers are exhausted by the Democrat majority. And it would be refreshing if just one time, you would join the producers of this state and send a message and vote no. Thank you.